Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in today. My name is, we all know each other pretty much. I'm Charles. I'm the co-host of Lifetime Success Seminars alongside Stephen. We are so honored to have you with us today, and we are very excited with what we have in store for you today. Basically, the talk today and the conversation that we want to have today is about self-belief. It's about believing in yourself. And if you saw the video ad that I just sent this morning, I just said, so many times when we think of success, we're thinking of things around it. When we think about why am I not succeeding? Why am I not breaking through? Why are things not happening? Most of the times when we're looking for a reason, we're looking outwards. You're looking at, the economy is bad. There is a pandemic. Employment rate is low. I'm not skilled enough. I'm not educated enough. My color of my skin is not the right one, or whatever. So when we think of success, we associate with all the outside things that are beyond ourselves, if you like. But sometimes we forget that the most important aspect of our success and what determines whether we succeed or fail is ourselves, and that's where the power of self-belief, the power of believing in you comes, where you can look at yourself and almost like derive that strength from within and say, like, right, I can do this. I have what it takes to succeed, regardless of everything that was happening out there. We were having a conversation, Grace just mentioned earlier, on Thursday in Cecily's meeting about financial health. And this question came around, like, how would you become healthy financially with everything that is going on around us right now? You have the pandemic, people are losing their jobs, people are struggling, things are difficult, the economy is going down, so much is happening around. So how can you talk with financial health amidst all these things? And we kind of had that conversation and said, yes, all these factors may affect you one way or the other, but the most important thing is that control, having that control and being able to say, right, regardless of everything that is happening around us, this is what I can do to better myself financially. This is what I can do to get myself out of this hole, And I think that applies the same with the talk that we have today. Today is going to be more in a more general sense, that we need to look inwards and believe in ourselves and almost like count on ourselves to matter, count on ourselves to work it out, count on ourselves to really be successful, basically. So I'm looking forward to a really, really, really rich conversation. It's not going to be a one-way conversation, like what Steve said earlier. There is no master here. There is no great teacher here. We're just sharing experiences. We're sharing ideas. We are sharing thoughts. We're sharing. We're bringing in some challenges, things like probing some issues, and then we can have a discussion and learn from one another by bouncing these ideas through each other. But today, before we come to the point of discussion, Stephen is going to sort of lead the way and start that conversation for us. But before I invite Stephen, I just wanted to make a shout out for Cecily, who's not here yet, because like I said, we are Lifetime Success Seminars, but we work very much in partnership with the To Live Women's Group, led by Cecily, and we tend to share in her meetings, and she sometimes comes to ours, and we kind of work together because we're all looking for the same goal and reaching our communities with conversations that can really develop us and push us forward. But more specifically, Lifetime Success Seminars, we are more ventured into matters of personal development, so things to do with health, fitness, relationships, finance, business, employment, mental well-being, education, lifestyle, and all those other things. Look, Cecily's just joining in now. So those are our areas, and we kind of raise this conversation in all these different areas. We have discussions, we have presentations, we have guests coming in to share their experiences as well and learn from them, and that's what we do. And we do these meetings every fortnight, every other week. So we had one 2 weeks ago, and we have another one today. We'll have another one in 2 weeks. And so I really encourage you to keep joining and to be a great ambassador for us and spread the word out there, because these conversations, I think they are worth having, and therefore the more people join these sort of forums, and the more this conversation becomes the mainstay of our communities, I think the better we can be as community, and it will kind of push it towards success. Having said that, hi Cecily.
Oh, hi Charles.
Hi Cecily. I was just explaining here just before you came in about Lifetime Success Seminars and our collaboration with To Live Women Group, and how we work together through your programs and our programs. Do you want to say a little bit about the To Live Women Group and your programs, please?
Oh yes, and thank you for that, Charles, because you have been really a very important part of this journey, and it's not because of the love we have for our communities in terms of the well-being.
Absolutely.
We are, I'm glad on the forum, I believe we have all come from different countries, and we came here for one particular reason, you know, to better our lives. Yeah. And in most cases that goes wrong when we are not well directed. And Charles, that is why I'm saying thank you for being a greater part of what we continue to do. These sessions are there to really empower ourselves for the best interest of everybody. And I'm sure you have mentioned that every Wednesday and Thursday we have these sessions going from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, and occasional weekends, like tomorrow we have something to do with the gardening, you know, for men especially. And it's all about our well-being, which is quite holistic. Thank you, Charles, for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cecily. That is fantastic. So I really encourage you to join Cecily's meetings on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and for the one tomorrow. If you would share the, do you think you can share the information for tomorrow's meeting on the chat section with us, Cecily, so that whoever will be interested could join?
Oh yes.
Otherwise, if they come to me, I can link them up for the meeting as well.
That's right. I am going to do that once I log on to the laptop. I'm on the mobile at the moment.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. Brilliant. Brilliant. One other thing, a bit of house rules. Please stay muted once the speaker starts talking. So you can press the mute button on your screen, so that we can avoid the interruptions while the speaker is talking. And I highly encourage you to use the chat section, because as I said, this is an interactive meeting. So as the speaker is talking, if there is something that resonates really well with you, you can put something in the chat there, have a bit of a dialogue, a bit of a discussion going as the meeting is continuing. And if you have any question whatsoever, and you wanted to have a time to ask that question, either you can type that question in the chat section. I'll be policing it and try and see who's asking a question. And then at the end of the presentation, I'll give you an opportunity to ask your question. Or if it's difficult to write the full question in the chat section, you can just write the word question, and I'll know that you have a question to ask, and I'll give an opportunity at the end to ask that question. So yeah, so I really encourage you to use that chat section, and let's keep this conversation going as the speaker is doing his thing. Having said that, Stephen Buruganya doesn't need any introduction. He's a powerhouse, I call him. He's loaded with lots of gems and a lot of material that we can learn from. He's a great friend of mine. I've known Stephen. Steve, how long have we known each other? Since 1994. Well, I mean, since you were a baby. Let me put it that way. So since 1994, I've known him. He's been a really good friend of mine. He's been a beacon of strength for me personally, and a great friend, really. So I'm sure we're going to learn a lot from him, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say. He's also the co-host of Lifetime Success Seminars that we conduct together. So Steve, without further ado, the floor is yours, man.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Charles. As you said, actually, yes, Charles is a great friend of mine, and we've known each other for a long time. So we shared a lot of things, you know, sharing shirts, trousers. The problem was he was taller than me, so that was a problem. But you know, we kind of grew up together in that, you know, team thingy. And well, I've quite learned a lot from him as well. Yeah, we have really been a blessing to each other, I can say. And it's somebody that I can really count on, really. You know, if everybody shut the door, I believe his door will be open. So I am guaranteed. So I just knock the door with no appointment. He must open the door, so no question asked. So saying that, let us proceed with our talk today. And as I've said earlier, you know, each and every one has something to share and talk on this. Really, it's not something that, okay, well, I'm just hammering and just, you know, going and talking. But well, I will appreciate if everybody will, you know, come in and chip in and give their, you know, their view on this, because we all need this to succeed. Okay. Now, the heading that we have today says that the power of believing in you. And it's a very big thing. But most time, you know, we shy away and we kind of don't want to take, you know, responsibility into this. And as Charles mentioned earlier, we go into, oh, we got COVID-19. We go, the weather is not very nice, the economic situation, the political situation, the ruling party. So when we make a list of obstacles, you know, if I say, hey, Charles, you know, come 2021, you haven't done well. So give me a list of the, you know, the challenges. Say, yeah, you know, I wasn't very well, you know, I was ill a little bit in here. So you're going to, you know, make up a very big list, but you're not going to put yourself in it, you know. But what I've learned is you and me, before any other thing, we are the number one. We are the key for that success that we want, you know. And most times we're not looking ourselves that way. We look into, or having got the capital to start the business. You know, the funding is difficult to get. I haven't got a promoter, you know, I haven't got nobody to do this and that, but we don't really put ourselves into that. And the key is, there are some things that we need, you know, you as a person, you as an individual. And I think after you have all those things, you personally first, all other things will fall in place. And one of them is believing in yourself. Okay? And there is one person I like to listen, Charles. No, his name is Mr. Jim Rohn. Now, this gentleman was having a cup of coffee with one of his mentors. And they're having a cup of coffee, and then the mentor's asking him, hey, tell me, you know, how are you doing? He said, well, I'm not doing very well. You know, so, you know, yeah, I'm not doing very great. And then he asked him, what's the reason? And the guy was really, you know, yeah, and he brought a list, you know, because of this and that and this, you know, family and stuff. So he had a big list of the reasons why he wasn't doing well. Now, the mentor listened to him and said, well, yeah, I've listened to you, very good, but one thing is missing in that list. And that is, you're not in that list. You're missing in that one. You said, oh, the economics, you know, the family, the wife, the kids, the school run. Yes, but you're not in that list. So it's a, well, that's really key thing, you know. Most times I'm not in that list. I'm not sure if you are, but most times when you mention, you don't put yourself in that list. But you're the key. You're going to be in the list. That's important. That, you know, are you having all the, you know, ingredient, whatever is needed, the belief in you, you know, all the positivity, the attitude. Have you got them right before you start jumping outside and say, oh, you know, they're not pushing for me, or the economy, money, the capital. Before you go there, you're going to make sure you yourself, everything is in line. Okay, so as we say today, it doesn't matter what you want to achieve, whatever thing that you want to achieve, you know, career-wise, family-wise, business-wise, financial-wise, believing in you is important. I would possibly say it could be one of the really important things that if you don't have, you may not even be able to start the journey. If you don't believe in, you know, in what you want to do, or if you don't believe in you, possibly, there's nothing to do. So it doesn't matter what you choose to do. Number one, do I believe in what I'm starting? Say, okay, I want to start a business. Well, I want to do well in sports. I want to do well in ABC. Key thing, do I believe in me first? If I don't, then possibly nothing will happen. But the key thing is you're going to make sure that you believe in you. There is power in believing in you. Now, before we go into believing in you, number one, you're going to set a goal. You need to know what you want. That's important. Okay? What do I want? Because most time, if you talk to people, they may not really define what they want. They really don't exactly know what they want. So you're going to start with, what do I really want to achieve? Okay? In life, personally, you. What do you really want to achieve in life? Because that is important. When I say, okay, I want to achieve success in sports, this is me, right? So you know what you want, then you're going to believe in that thing. If you got 50 things, you're not sure, so you're going to be, okay, what am I going to believe in? So you're going to know exactly what you want. So this is what I want. Number one, I want this to happen. Then I'm going to believe in this. I think that's important, because most time, you know, I find that if you haven't really narrow into specific, then it's going to be difficult. Because in life, you have to go that level. You can't say, okay, I'm Mr. Billy Gates, I got all the money, so I can have all the houses. You can't have all the houses in the world. Doesn't matter, you got all the money. You're going to narrow into, you can't. You can say, oh, you know, I got a lot of money, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, then I'm going to own all the kind of world, I'm going to drive all the cars. You can't. You're going to narrow down to a specific. Even if you go 50, of course, 50 is a number, but you can't have all the cars. You understand what I mean? I think you're getting me. You're going to narrow down somehow. You're going to be focusing on something. That's important. So key number one, before we believe, we're going to know what are we believing in. Yeah, you believe in you. Yes. Then you believe in you in what? Okay. So that's number one. So know what you want. Exactly decide, what do I want? That's the number one key. And then after that, then let's go into the intense believing in the thing that you have decided to. Yeah? You're going to believe in that one. Because if you don't believe in what you want to achieve, if you don't believe in your goal, if you don't believe in your dream, how can I say, hey, Charles, can you join me? No, well, he's not going to be able to do this for me. And the problem is, you cannot delegate this to somebody else, right? You can go to the bank, they can give you the money, but the bank cannot believe on your behalf. That's what it is. It doesn't matter, whatever, I say, oh, you know, I got the money or I got the fame. If you need the muscles, you're going to go to the gym. You can't hire somebody to do push-ups for you. Not possible. You're going to do it for you. Okay? So you can't really substitute this with anything. So you got to believe it personally. Okay? So number one, decide what you want. So this is what I want. The number two, intense belief. Believe that whatever you want to get, well, you can get it. It's going to be hard. It's going to take time. It's going to need some investment, but you got to believe in that. There is power in believing. And after that, I think it's going to come to what we're doing at the moment. You know, success that we want, I really pretty sure that you know there's some laws and rules that govern success. There's some principles that govern that success. Yeah? So after you believe, after I believe, then I'm going to find, you know, what are the rules? Because there are some rules. You can't just play anyhow and say, well, I'm succeeding. It won't work that way. You know, there's some things. Things got to be done in a certain way. You're going to do things in a certain way. You're going to have a certain way of thinking, a certain mindset. You know, so you're going to know all these things. And that's why actually we're coming here together, trying to share, learn experience from each other. Okay? So that is important. Now, one thing that I can highlight is at times we don't get what we want because we simply don't intensely believe in the thing. You can just say superficially, yeah, you know, 2021, this is my New Year resolution. I want this, I want that. You know, you can have a list, you know, 21 things. But, you know, if I ask you, do you believe in this? You're going to go, yeah, you know, yeah. And it's very simple to know if you're believing in it or not. You're going to see, plans that you have, the action that you put down. How are you doing daily into achieving that? That's going to show you that, you know, you believe. So I want to lose some weight. So if week 1, you know, you went twice for a run. Week 2, you skipped the whole week. Week 3, you went once. Then that shows that we don't believe in that, because the actions, you know, will show. You know, proves. You know, gives you the action gives you feedback. Well, you're not. Yeah. So believing in something that, like, well, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to get this, will be backed up with your actions, you know, what you do. That's important for me. Another thing that I can pinpoint that might be a problem again is a lack of self-confidence. You know, I want to achieve this. This is a goal that I have set. But if we don't have a confidence, then that is straight away will remove that self. You don't believe in that one. So I need to have confidence that, well, this goal that I'm setting up, you know, I have ability. I will put everything in it to make sure that I can achieve this thing. You know, self-confidence, because other people may say, well, that's too big for you. I don't think that's going to be something you can attain with the situation, with the environment, with what we have at the moment. Well, I don't see that as viable, you know, but you know yourself, you know, what you want to achieve, you know, you have that belief that, well, I want to achieve this. So you now have to have the self-confidence that personally, regardless of the situation, regardless of what people say, I will, you know, make sure that I attain what I've said to attain. So we need to have confidence in ourselves. I think that's important. And these are normal life things. You can just go back to yourself and then say, okay, on this, well, I did lack a little bit of confidence. Possibly this could be the reason why I didn't achieve, you know. And at times to give you a boost, you're gonna go and ask some few people, you know, I want to do this, and how do you feel? They say, oh, no. You know, this one, no. With what we have, no. So you ask another friend, they say, well, I don't think, I tried that 1-2 years ago, it didn't work. You know, so I don't think, you know. So if you're not solid yourself, then all these opinions that they're giving you, it's gonna just get you off the rail and say, well, I think what they're saying is true. And you're not going to go forward. Okay? So it's important to make sure that, well, you personally believe in what you want to achieve. And that's going to come into the next point I want to highlight here, which is your mental attitude. That's very important. Okay? The mental attitude, that's very important. Now, there's somebody called Dr. Walter Scott. He said success or failure is scored more by mental attitude than mental capacity. Okay? So the question is, what kind of attitude do I have? That's the question for you and me. You know, mentally, your mental attitude. What do you think of? What do you believe? What do you think? How do you see things? You know, that really determines the result that you get. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I work on my mental attitude. That's important, you know. And how do I do that? That's gonna be proportional to what do I read, you know. What kind of people am I, you know, around with? Because some people are just negative. Everything you say, well, that won't work. This is difficult. That can be achieved. So, you know, they give you poison. Every time what they're pushing is negative. You won't be able to, you know, it can't be achieved and all this kind of thing. But you're going to make sure that, you know, your mental attitude is positive. all the time. Okay. Right. Another point that I want us to share today. It's important for us to kind of remind ourselves that at times you may say, well, I don't have enough qualifications for me to attain this or that or this. So that can be, you know, something that really shout very loud in your mind, you know, that I won't be able to achieve this because of ABC reasons, or may say the education, you know. But what we want to share today is you are able, you can achieve whatever you are set to achieve if you intensely believe. Okay, and at times it just takes you believing in the thing, and then other things will start falling into place. You're gonna start looking into, wow, this has happened. You know, you meet somebody, give you certain information that you really needed, you connect. You know, you meet somebody else, give you another information, you connect, and then before you know, you see you're already starting achieving what you set to achieve. So believing in you has the power. Okay, believing in yourself has the power, and it's something that really you have to cultivate. You know, it's something which is not an easy, a quick fix like, okay, you know, yeah, it's something that you really got to sit down and cultivate, you know, believe in yourself. Set some goals, you know, small goals, make sure you achieve them. You know, that gives you that feeling that, well, I've set up this, I've achieved. You can set a bigger goal, you know, and set a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one. So the more you do, the more you believe in yourself. Okay, so it is important for us to make sure that we cultivate the self-belief. Now, the problem that we have most of the time is that the life we live won't give you a break. So, okay, so now you can have a small little vacation to go and fix your attitude, you know, fix your unbelief. And no, life goes on. So you're going to do all these things that we do while the life is going on. Okay, so it won't give you a break, you know, because at times you say, if I have a little break, or if I have more time, I can fix this and that. If I have, but you can't. You're going to be able to do things within. Okay, because that's another thing that most people say, well, I can't do because I don't have time. But you can't get extra time from anywhere. The time you have is the time you have. You know, we can't create another time. Okay, so get yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself. You know, so say, Stephen, I have got this goal. I have to achieve this goal. You know, I have got this objective. I have to achieve this objective. Talk to yourself, you know, just get time to speak to you. You know, most of the time we let the TV speak to us, you know, the politics which goes around to speak to us, you know, people speak to us, but speak to you. You know, go in the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror, and then just give yourself a small prep, you know, talk to you, you know, Charles, go in the mirror and then talk to Charles, you know. Well, practice this. It's very strange, you know, just go in the mirror, look at yourself and just smile and say, hey, you know, you haven't been doing so well, brother. What's happening? Just talk to yourself and you will see. Try. I believe everybody have a mirror. So after this, just go to the mirror in the bathroom and then just try to talk to you. And then you tell me next time, you tell me how you feel, you know, when you talk to yourself in the mirror. Just look yourself in the mirror and then talk to you, whatever you want to say. You know, say, hey, do you believe in that we can achieve? Do you believe we can have $1 million? So I got my friend Charles, he's got a big check on war. You know, how much million, Charles? 5? 1 million?
Just one, Steve. Not much. Just one.
Just one, yeah. So he got that one stick in the wall, you know, with a deadline on it. You know, he's believing into that. You know, he's believing it. And the thing is, you're going to know if you do that, you know you're not going to have $1 million by doing maybe a job or which pays you £4 an hour. You can't make $1 million even if you work for 3 years. I don't think. Even if you work for 4 years, I don't think you can. So which means if you have that on the wall, saying I'm going to achieve this by employment, that's out of the equation. So Charles got to think of something else, right? You got to eliminate that because this won't work. Yeah. So it's going to make you think a little bit different, you know, thinking of other ways, other means, you know, because you really see that this way really won't work. This one won't work. This bring me a bit closer. This one, so, you know, I think you understand what I mean. I think you're getting the point I'm trying to make in here. So go in front of the mirror and talk to yourself, you know, and see what's going to happen. Now, another important thing that I want to say as you talk to the mirror, try to make a commercial about you. Okay? Try to make a commercial about you. What do I mean by this? If I cannot sell myself to me, how can I sell myself to Charles or Bouquet? Very important thing. If you say, well, I don't think so. I don't think this is, I don't think so. So you believe other people say, yes, we think so. That's impossible. You know, that's almost impossible. So if you don't think so, other people won't think so. Let's agree on this. I think we all agree. Do we agree? Yeah. So you're gonna make sure that you can sell you to you first before other people can buy. So before you go sell that to you. And genuinely, with all your heart, say, well, I believe in the product. I believe in this. And go out and sell to other people. Then that might work for you. And that I'm sure will work for you. But first, you're gonna be the first customer of you that, well, I believe in this. If you don't believe, then, you know, other people, it's going to be really for other people to believe in something you don't believe in. Okay? So doing that, you know, you're going to make sure that you and me believe in what we want, or believe in what we want to achieve, you know, which means I have to train work, you know, I have to train to act, you know, I have to train to talk like somebody who has just closed a $1 million deal, you know, that way. You know, if I can convince myself, if I can talk like, if I can walk like, then that is the beginning. Yeah? But if you say, well, you're £10 person, £20 person, then how can you come to Paul then and say, Paul, give me 50? If you don't believe yourself, you believe 10, how can Paul believe in 50? If you believe in 10, that's not going to work. You know, you can go to Mr. Head and say, Mr. Head, you know, yeah, Paul, am I saying your name right? Is it Paul Head, yeah? All right, yeah. So if you don't believe in that, how can he believe in you? So number one thing, you're going to make sure that, you know, you talk like, you know, you walk like, yeah. That's the art you need to master. You know, well, we're not saying faking it, like, you know, pretending. No. You're going to practice. Make that your habit. Make that you first. Okay? Before you go outside and sell to other people. And the key is you have to, you know, look like success. Talk like success. Think like a success. And intensely believe, you know, that like somebody who is really successful, then I believe in the end, success will be really coming. Yeah? So, as I'm closing, we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna ask, we're gonna all share. As I'm closing, what I want to say is you and me have to make sure that we radiate success. You know, whatever we really want to come our way, we have to become that first. You know, you know, Mr. Jim Rohn says success is something that you attract by the person you become, and that's very true. You know, the way you think, you know, the attitude that you have, you know, what you read, and all these, you know, really matter into what you want to achieve and get. So at times we just want to say, well, I want to be a success. I want to attract $1 million. I want to, you know, attract £1 million. Yes, but for you to attract that, you need to really grow up to where that £1 million is. You know, in the way you speak, in the way you think, in the way you set up your goals, and all these things. And all this will add into your belief. Do you believe that, you know, you can achieve that, what you want to achieve? Yeah. So it's important that we, you know, we intensely believe, and we start acting like, you know, the people who really want that thing that we want. Okay. Now, I just want to repeat again, you know, at times we put excuses, you know, like, well, education I have is not enough. I have only a diploma, or I have a degree. Well, this is important, but I want to rule that one out. You know, that having a diploma or a degree is a guarantee that you will, you know, succeed in the path that you know, you set up to. It really doesn't matter. But if you follow things like what we are saying here, believing in you, you know, having the right mental attitude, those are the ingredients that you and me need, you know, I think in the first place, before we say, well, the formal education. Formal education is okay. Formal education is right, you know, but there are some things that have to be in place to support and help you. And one of them is believing in you. Okay? Finally, let me say this. It is a law of life that belief attracts to you all the elements that can make your dream realized. Okay, when you start believing in something, then your way of doing things will be in proportion to the belief that you have. You know, that's what it is. If you say, well, I believe to achieve this, your mindset and how you conduct yourself and what you do will somehow align into that. Because you cannot say, I believe A, and you'll be doing B. That's not going to be, okay? So somehow, the nature will attract into you according to what you believe. If you say, well, we want to be ABC, and you really stick to that, then you see things are aligning into that direction for you, okay? As we are talking about believing, I really insist and repeat again. So whatever thing that we really want to achieve, we have to intensely believe that we can get it. If we don't believe, then possibly we're not going to get it. But we have to really believe. And after we believe this, you and me must make sure that we really want the thing bad enough. You can want something like, okay, but if you really want it bad enough, well, then you'll be ready to put some actions down. You'll be ready to set up some goals. You'll be ready really to pay the price that you have to pay. Because at times, you know, people say, well, I want this, but they're not ready to pay the price. I want a bigger muscle, but they don't have time to go to the gym. You know, I want to be healthy. They don't eat healthy. They want sugar and everything. You can't. You're going to be ready to pay the price, because success that you want have a price to pay. You know, that we can't avoid it. The success you want, success I want, has a price to pay. And some of it you're going to believe. Some of it you're going to look like stupid. You know, like, you know, if this thing that my friend has done, which, well, you know, you say you have writing and you believe in it, looks like something. What is this? But that's what it is. There's some price. There's this price that you and me have to pay for this. Okay? And I'll say at times, people don't get what they want or what they desire simply because we don't intensely believe in what we want to get, the success that we're looking for. We don't intensely believe in it, you know? And then that could be because we lack confidence. There's no self-confidence that we know we are able to do or we are able to attain. So if we lack confidence, then possibly we're not going to get it. You know, we're not going to get it. And actually, it's very true, because if I tell you something like, okay, something we're going to talk about, something which is within 500 pounds, you'll be very confident, you'll be very comfortable, because it's something that, you know, you're within it. But if I say, okay, let's discuss some deals in here, which range, million, 2 millions, you're going to be uncomfortable. And probably your brain, your mind will shut down, because say, well, I'm not there yet. I can't, you know, I'm not there yet, you know. But if I say something within reach, you'll be active. You know, let's discuss about 200 pounds. Yeah, you come with ideas, because you see, you're used to the 200 pound and brain work. But when I say, yeah, 50, 70, mind shut down, because you say, well, I'm not there yet, you know. But it shouldn't be that, really. Yeah, it shouldn't mean that. So we're going to make sure that we have the right mentality. We really open up and believe that we can, you know, attain, we can achieve the thing we're set to achieve. Yeah. So without taking too much time, you know, I will, you know, like us to share in this, because everyone has experience, you know, and something you believed, and what are the challenges. But I think possibly we might go into discussion on how do we cultivate and how do we get, you know, this belief system, you know, become, you know, as strong as, or become a part of us, you know, because there is, you know, there is a way to do things, you know. How do we learn, and how do we, you know, make this a part of us, you know. So yeah, I will probably want to welcome, you know, each and everyone in here to kind of share really what you think is the challenge of believing on the thing that we set to achieve. So yeah, welcome. I see people there. So welcome, yeah, Paul.
I think, can I say something? Or Paul, Grace?
Yes. Yeah, Grace, if you're ready, yes.
Yeah, you know, I think we shouldn't take the little achievements for granted. We should celebrate them. And that will encourage us to go more. If you're waiting to achieve a bigger thing before you acknowledge it and celebrate it, you won't get there. So the little things that we achieve every day, we have to celebrate it.
Yes,
and that
Grace.
will encourage us
Good.
to go further.
Yes, Grace. Yes, Grace. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace.
Celebrate the small achievements.
Yeah.
Because many don't even try. So it's an achievement just to achieve something small, because some people don't even try to get the small things.
Yes. So we have to celebrate them. And that will encourage, build up. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Grace.
Can I just add a point on Grace's point? I think that point is massive about celebrating achievements. You know what I've realized from my experience personally and through conversation with other people is that naturally, as humans, we tend to remember the negative things more than the positive things. The negative things stay with us longer. Like you can have 10 achievements and one failure. You will forget about all the 10 achievements and you will remember that one failure for years. That's just how human mind works, unfortunately. We are creatures, what is it? We are survival creatures, and therefore we tend to remember what went wrong, because we always try to evade the pain, if you like. So naturally we tend to remember the pain, the failures. So it is extremely important that you deliberately find ways to reward yourself with achievements, to find a way that could even be you writing it down. That could be you waking up in the morning. I have a habit of waking up in the morning doing my journal. One of the things I do is, what went well yesterday? What did I do so well yesterday? You know, what did I achieve? You have to actively try and look for those little achievements, because if you don't, you won't see them, because naturally your mind just forgets about those, but keeps memory of the bad things. You know, if I ask you, how was your day yesterday? Most likely what would come to your mind first is what went wrong yesterday. That's just how human works. So you have to actively almost go against the tide, if you like, you know, swim against the tide and train yourself differently. Because once you've filled yourself with those positive vibes that, oh, I managed to do that, I did that, wow, I managed to do that, oh, it's cumulative. At the end of the day, you kind of think about yourself, you feel like, actually, I can do stuff. So yeah, that's a really good point, Grace. Yeah, absolutely. That's it from me, Steve.
Hi, can you hear me? Hey, sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm just really.
We can,
Okay.
can, Maggie. Go on.
I was going to say that I think just building on the 2 points that have just come, I think then once you don't celebrate what's happened and you're not acknowledging those. I think one other thing is also becoming aware of the language that you speak to yourself. Like if you realize sometimes, like when you make a mistake, what is the first thing that comes to you? A lot of us are like, oh my God, Maggie, very silly. How could you do that? But our internal talk and our internal dialogue tends to be more critical of ourselves than, let's say, even a manager would be critical of us. Like if you made a mistake, your manager is less likely going to tell you, oh my God, that's very silly. They'll just be like, oh, how can we correct it? So I think it's also important to grab hold of your internal dialogue. Like when you make mistakes or you're about to do something, what is that dialogue that you keep telling yourself about things? Oh, I can't do that. Do you have a lot of negative words in your dialogue? And just really making sure that you on top of everything, you start understanding, you know, the person you spend the time with the most, what is that person saying all the time? And that person is in your head. And if you can change that dialogue as well in your head, it's really important.
Thank you, Margaret. Amazing. Thank you so much. That's really good. Really good. Really good. Really good.
On that, I've been doing some training myself about how the mind works, and your mind is static, but you've got different rooms in your mind.
Yeah.
And the more time you spend in whatever room you spend it in, you give that energy to the room. So if you spend more time in the stressed room, you make it easier to keep going to the stressed room because you're giving it more energy. You've got a path there. So you've got to try, you can't eradicate those rooms. They're there, they're important. It's important to have a sad room and a happy room and all the different rooms in your head. But you've got to recognize when you're going in there too often and try and put yourself into the positive room or the grateful room or the appreciate what you've done and your achievements room. It's easy to spend time in the other rooms, and the longer you spend in those rooms, the more energy and the more you're drawn to them. It's just another way, I suppose it's another way of looking at what's just been said, really.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because if you spend your time in the negative room, you become negative. And you
like,
die. Nobody thrives in the negative environment.
It's
in a positive environment.
It's like saying, when this lockdown, when this coronavirus is all over, I'm going to stop stressing and worrying. You're not. Once you've spent 6-8 months stressing and worrying, you've already created that path of worry. So when the coronavirus is gone, you'll automatically just worry about something else.
Yeah.
You'll find something else to worry about instead. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit like, I suppose, God forbid, I don't know whether it's a bit like if you're overweight and you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to get fit. Even I can use that as well. You're not going to see the results straight away. So you're not suddenly, you've got to be out of that state of mind, and you've got to put yourself in a different place, because if you don't see the results straight away, you're not going to get, it's not going to lift you. So you've got to not go there in the first place. Yeah.
And also, can I say, you have to learn to forgive your mistakes, forgive yourself. You know, so far as you don't die from the mistake, you have to move on. Forgive, try to forgive. You made a mistake and go ahead, carry on. Yeah, don't dwell on the mistake. Learn from it and carry on. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in the, forgive that state of, regret. you have to move on.
Yes.
You know, you will achieve anything if you dwell on the mistake and, you know, you don't forgive yourself and don't move on. Yes.
Thank you, Grace. Well, that's very, very important point, you know, because I think I was sharing with Charles the other day. You know, you live one day at a time, and then yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not here yet. You only have today. So if you're gonna dwell in yesterday, you can't go back in yesterday. So just take the lessons you got from your mistake, use them as a capital to go tomorrow. So that's very, very important. Cecily is there, and then I see she disappeared.
I'm here. I
You're
am
there?
here.
Nice to see you.
Yes.
Nice to see
Now,
you live.
I am liking the conversation here. First of all, I have 2 points that I've picked along the way, just to emphasize what has been said. Now, the idea of believing in yourself is crucial in life. We know that life is a journey. And the idea of belief is key to the point that, to the extent that once you stop believing in who you are and what you are hoping to do, you know, life ends. Yeah. We also know that, you know, you don't regret because of your past. It is important that you appreciate your past as a learning experience, but also important to know that clever people will always say, you know, it's good to learn from experiences. So they may be tempted to really make wrong choices so that they can learn from them. Some of it may be cautions, and the others might be maybe it's a mistake. But we know that wise people will always learn from the experiences of others. So the choice is between being clever and being wise. Which one would you rather be? But the idea of experience, is important to know that regret, you know, do not regret about what has happened in the past. Instead, look at it as a learning curve, because days to come are going to make you, you know, you're going to get the best out of it. So I have a mantra which says that, you know, never regret a day in your life. Good days give you happiness, bad days give you experience, and the worst days give lessons, and the best days give you memories. So there is no wasted time or no wasted day. Now, the idea of celebrating yourself, you know, celebrating.
Sorry, Cecily, I'm going to stop you for a second. Can you say that again? That was so powerful. Please, can you say that again?
It's a very important mantra which keeps me going. It says, never regret a day in your life, because good days give you happiness, bad days give you experience, worst days give you lessons, and the best days gives you memories. So there is no wasted day in your life, because it is when we think we have wasted days, sometimes we turn into, you know, stressful lifestyle. So there is no room for stress or for regret, because there is no wasted day. Yeah. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention on is on the celebration, you know, celebrating yourself. Now, this is the principle of, is also a biblical principle, because if you celebrate yourself, how would you expect somebody else to celebrate you? Yeah. How do you expect to be even more good experiences in order to celebrate them? So begin by celebrating yourself for that one good thing that you have done, so that many more can come. And by the time many more comes, it will be your lifestyle. Celebration will be your lifestyle, and ready to receive many more. So it's a biblical principle as well as a life principle. I just thought I mentioned that.
Thank you, Cecily. That's amazing. I'll probably ask for that quote, you know, privately. Mary, you were saying something. Welcome.
Oh yeah, for that, it is in one of my books, and don't be silenced. So if you have that book, it is there.
Now. Now you're going to buy a book, okay.
Oh yes. So for those who don't know, please get it from Charles.
Amazing.
Yes.
Welcome, Sister Mary.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to probably compliment what everybody is saying, but also add that a lot of us grew up in an environment whereby there were some limiting beliefs that were sort of like, either practiced or spoken of our lives, like in families whereby maybe getting rich is not really emphasized. It's like rich people are arrogant, or they are proud, and all those kind of limiting beliefs. So I think also sort of like working on ourselves and probably going to the subconscious mind, whereby there's those beliefs that are seated within ourselves that limit our progress in life and success, could be also be a good thing for us to look into. So yeah, just working, maybe relighting our beliefs and our values, and how we believe about success, not just money, but also having a healthy body, having a healthy mind. So really probably taking that one-to-one time with yourself. As you're talking about the mirror thing, I really like that. Just starting to speak to yourself and maybe questioning some of these things that you believe about, and putting them into the light of where you want to go in the future. So yeah, so I do believe that we need to go maybe a bit deeper within our subconscious and unravel some of these driving forces that are influencing our lives today, and hence keeping us in places of limitations. And big ones is what we had when we were growing up, and how things were viewed when we were growing up. So yeah, just wanted to mention that.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Sister Mary. Yes, how we brought up actually really counts into this, because you see at the moment, I think most of us, we are kind into, we have to edit. Most things that we are learning, we are not really implanted in us when we were growing up. So we kind now, you're an adult, you find out, oh, there's something called setting goals. Oh, there's something called self-confidence. No one teach you, we didn't learn this, So at the moment we are kind of trying to edit some stuff, but well, not too late. We can still try. Yes, anybody else? Stella, are you there? Stella Miburo, are you there? All right, she's not there. Ben, nice to see you today. Can we hear from you?
Yeah, I really appreciate and like the conversation, and I've been listening. All this useful, information coming out. Really, I really don't have anything to add, or I feel like most of the things have been tapped already. But I think I wrote on the message. I said it's important to have that mind of not only saying that I'm going to do it, but also try and do it, as much as you can. The doing is very important. The saying is there. We can all say, but the doing, I know that the doing is the hard part, but the doing is so important. Like every day, gearing up to that small achievement that you are craving to have.
Yeah,
it's important that you go and do it. There's a small video of a small child who she was just saying, just do it, just do it, just do it. Anything, it's just keep repeating, just do it. Not just do it. It really helps to move forward. You can just do it maybe on that particular day, and then the things don't turn out as you wanted them to turn out. But as the lady said, there's no regret or a sad day. It's all about that experience. Yes, on that day you did, but it was not the best that you wanted it, to come out. So tomorrow I'm going to do it again. So just do it. It's very important to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you start seeing, those small achievements are added up into a big one. And as the other lady said, I think the celebration should be into small achievement. It's very important because then the bigger picture will always come. People will celebrate about, yes, I bought a new car, but it's not that day when you went to buy a car to get the actual car. That's when you won. Having a new car. It's a day when maybe the bank, say that you are qualified. Your what's this called? Your portfolio, your finances is okay. That day. It's about the day that you started saving. For the deposit. Those are the days that we tend to forget. We only remember that new car, which is is there. We are picking it up. So the doing part for me is very crucial. In the morning it's cold, you can't get up. You have to remember that I've got to do something. I'll go and do it. As hard as it is, as cold as it is, I'll get up and I'll go and do it. That mentality of doing, whether that day when you do it good or you do it, not so good or whatever, but that mentality of doing, I think that's the one which we need to instill into our brain as much as we can and keep moving. So that's what I can add really. But the rest has been really great, to be honest, from everybody. I've really learned a lot. Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Thank you very much, Ben. I haven't heard anything from Bouquet. Bouquet, you see, you might be the youngest in here. Give us your view on the subject. So let's listen. Let's hear from you.
Steve, hello.
I hear you, Charles.
Before you go to Bouquet for a second, I just wanted to add something on Ben's point.
Yes.
And then Bouquet can have the floor. The point of doing, I think the challenge we have is we don't trust ourselves. There is a difference between, it's very similar, but between self-belief and not trusting yourself. What do I mean by this? There is a concept of congruence of thought, in a way that, let me put it this way. Whether your thoughts, your words, and your actions are aligned. Do you understand? Because sometimes we have this tendency. We think one way, we talk a different way, and we act a different way. And it's true. And then as a result of that, we end up not trusting ourselves. You understand? Because we can give ourselves a fair assessment. We know ourselves. I know what I think, I know what I'm saying, and I know what I do. And I can see how different those three are. And as a result, that I lose trust in myself, because I know I've always almost like failed myself time and time again. So I think that is very important. When you talk about action, we need to train ourselves to do what we think, to do what we say. It has to be an active thing that we learn or unlearn if the reverse was true, and really try and develop that act of saying, right, this. I'll give a good example. For instance, if it happens that your thoughts are quite negative, but so every time you try and talk, you're almost trying to go against your thoughts to come across as positive. Because I'm not saying that if you have negative thoughts, then that's why you should speak. No, absolutely not. But if that's the kind of challenge you find yourself in most of the time, when you're with people, you kind of have to kind of keep checking your thoughts to kind of say the right things. You know what I mean? Then you need to invest more in positive thoughts. You need to put yourself in the beautiful state, if you like, and invest more in get yourself into good thoughts, so that in a way your thoughts will be congruent to what you say, because that stress cannot be good for you. That element of you're saying what you don't mean because really what you mean is very negative, and those kind of things. So you need to work on your thoughts. And the same thing, if what you're saying is not exactly what you do, then you have to look at it. Either what you were saying wasn't the right thing to say, therefore you need to change what you say. I think we've had that conversation a little bit before. Or vice versa, if what you're saying is correct, then you need to look at, why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? So I think having that congruence is really important. And the last thing I wanted to point out, which is in line with that same thing, is the issue of integrity. I think, which is very similar to congruency, but with integrity, it's just about keep doing the right thing. I think the most you become more confident in yourself, you become more self-assured if you know you're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes we lack that self-belief because we're kind of second guessing ourselves. Oh, am I doing the right thing? I've kind of messed up there. So what gives me the confidence now to do this? Because I know I've kind of cut corners there. I've cut corners. So integrity is really important. The more integrity you have, the more belief you have in yourself and in what you do, because then you know that you've done the groundwork right, and therefore you expect the right results. That was my point. Thank you, Steve.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Charles. Actually, well, the point that Charles really highlighted, well, I love it, because you see, once you're divided amongst once you yourself, you're divided, what you think and what you say, what you do, they're not in line, then, well, we're not going nowhere. That's really, you need to be number one. You need to be a whole. You need to be your mindset, your actions, what you see, how you feel, all got to be aligned. And I think that's where the challenge is. You know, with somebody with a lot of capability, but you know how you feel, it's not great. So that is everything got to be in harmony for you to achieve that great thing. So you're gonna find every piece working together. And that could be a really major problem. You may have everything, but I don't feel. The feeling is I don't feel like. That alone can make you sit down, you know? So yeah, Bouquet, welcome.
It's been a really good conversation. I've learned a lot. I'm not sure how to contribute. It's such a big topic. But one thing I've learned in self-belief, one thing I've learned in self-belief is just being your own person. Some people will believe in you, some people won't. But if you rely on other people believing in you in order to do something, you probably will give up, or you won't get it done, because they're not always going to affirm what you want to do. They're not always going to be supportive. So it's just such an important topic. Everything we've talked about, just starting from yourself and going from there, then everything else, everyone who comes along the way, who supports you, just adds to that and makes you even more confident.
Thank you very much. That's amazing. I see other people there. Tina, are you there with us? Tina? Right. Another Paul, maybe I presume this should be Paul Mhando. Are you there with us? Right. I don't see if they. Someone trying to say something?
So, no, I don't have anything to say, but I'm just enjoying whatever is said by other people. I came a bit late.
You know, there's no problem, Tina, about what we are talking about is self-confidence, you see. So, you know, I believe you have achieved some things, you know, some are small, some are medium, some are big, you know. And then, yeah, maybe you can tell us what your self-confidence had to do with them success that you got.
I don't know what to say, really. Maybe next time.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, well, I think her line is really not very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, are you there? I can't. Okay.
Hi,
well, yeah, I think.
It's Maggie.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Tina. We can't hear you. I think your line is a bit, you know. But yeah. So Margaret, did you want to say something?
Yeah. I think I'm also enjoying the conversation a lot, and really there's a lot of food for thought. But I also thought of something that a lot of people, including myself, I've gone through this, in that sometimes what happens when actually what you're doing is enough for other people to believe you, but you don't believe in yourself. And so you get through your goal, you've achieved it, but you still lack the confidence to believe in yourself. And that sort of manifests in what they call imposter syndrome. I don't know whether anybody has felt this, where you go to a job and you feel like everybody around you thinks you're a fraud, or you can't do the job, or if you're leading a meeting or you're saying something, you just feel like everybody here knows I'm lying. Not that you are lying, but you almost feel like, you know what, the moment I get home, I'm just going to get that phone call and they'll fire me, because they'll realize that they hired the wrong person. And I think that is, I hear that a lot, especially like in I would say maybe a lot of people face this, but especially like when you're entering the job market in early career, there's a lot of imposter syndrome. And I face this as well. Like if I have, even last week when Chelsea was like, speak, I was like, ooh, okay. But you know, how do you sort of push through imposter syndrome and think to yourself, like, really are my experiences or everything I've learned or what I have to offer, is it enough for people? Like, am I being genuine and authentic with what I'm giving? And I think that's a really, and I don't have the answer to that. I won't even pretend to know what the solution to imposter syndrome is, except maybe just stick it through and see what happens. Maybe they won't call you in the evening to fire you, but I think imposter syndrome is a really big issue when it comes to self-belief as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Sister Margaret. Yeah, so the key is really to work hard on ourselves, really. And as I said earlier, things like, you know, the mindset, you know, the belief, you know, believing in you. You can't have somebody to do this for you. So you got you to do it for you, you know, and you're going to find whatever way, you know, you can make yourself a slogan, you know, but there's nobody who is going to do this for you. And I think, as we have all said, in the beginning, Charles said, and then the Sister Mary said, you know, set up some small goals, achieve them, and let them give you that confidence. That I've set up this goal, I've done it, you know, you got self-assurance, you know, you've learned whatever you've learned, set a bigger one, achieve it, you know, set another one, fail, learn on it. So I think that's the only way. We can't go in the shop and buy self-confidence and self-belief. It's nowhere for sale. We can't buy it. You know, that's the challenge, really. Either you work on it to have it or you don't have it. So the key is really, as you say, to know what you want. This is what I want. Understand what you want. Really, this is what I want. Because you see, you can't have a belief in just in vain, in nothing. You have to believe in something, that this is what I believe in. I can achieve this. So I need to become this way, this much strong, this much whatever it is to achieve this. So I'm quite happy with the people's contribution. It's amazing and it's really good. Charles, you got anything else to add on top of that one?
Could I just add one small thing?
Yes, Paul.
Yeah, just, you know, in the same way as you would join a gym to get fit and healthy, if you are struggling and you think you need some additional mind training or something, don't be afraid to invest in that in the same way you would do spending a monthly gym membership or something, because it is just as valuable as getting your body fit as getting your mind fit. That's just it, really. You know, just it's not for everybody, and not everybody would need it, but I found it quite useful to try and get my mind in a better place. And I've had to invest financially into going on these courses, online courses, and there's a lot of good people out there.
Well, yeah, that's very true, Paul, because I believe it all starts with a mindset. You know, we have to impress whatever thing first in our mind, in our subconscious mind, before we can do that. You know, you can't put a plastic thing, oh, I believe. No, it really got to start from the inside, you know. So we have to suppress this thing into our subconscious mind. You know, as Charles say, you know, you're gonna make sure if you say, I'll do this, you do it. I'll do this one, you do it for you. Because see, at times, I can do it for Paul, but I cannot do it for me. This is another problem, you know. Paul can say, you know, do this, well, I can do for him, but the same thing I may not do for me. And that's the problem. If you don't do it for you, then you're letting you down. You know what I mean? So we're going to make sure that whatever it is, we suppress it into subconscious mind. It becomes a part of us. You know, it's like if somebody asks Charles, are you a man or a woman? You don't think, you say, I'm a man. Because why? Who told you? You know it. So you need to be the way, Charles, can you do this? Yes, I can. Because, you know, you don't question. It's already a part of you. So I think once we reach that level, then we're good to go. So welcome somebody else.
Awesome. Hello. Okay.
I was going to say.
Hello. Yeah, Charles. Somebody
now.
was talking. Who was it?
I think Grace is saying something.
Yeah, I said the timing. Do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Today is the day you can do that. So do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
You have only today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. The only day you have is today at the moment. So don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. So that's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is really fantastic. I just want to echo what Paul was saying about investing in your mind. We're not doing that enough, and we are losing a lot as a result, because there is absolutely nothing that we are or we do that doesn't spring from the mind. Everything springs from the mind, basically. And we invest a lot in our physical fitness. We invest a lot in our, you know, in lots of other things, in our families, in our relationships, in our friends, in our everything. But our mind, which basically governs all those things together, I think we ought to really invest more in it. And there are so many different ways to invest in. Like what Paul was saying, you know, there are really nice materials out there, really great mentors out there that can be really good coaches. But there are other ways as well. There are things like mastermind groups. Mastermind groups are really important. You know, when you have people that will always give you that positive vibe, they always create that positive space. Because I think what we're lacking in today's world is having that positive space. You know, everything that we're involved with, there is so much negativity out there. You switch the television on, it's negativity from the moment you switch it on to the moment you turn it off. You walk out the door, it's all bad news. You take a newspaper, it's all bad news. Everything is very negative. You go to work, 90% of the conversation is negative. Negative about your manager, negative about the company, negative about this, negative about that. The world is full of negative things. And therefore, what we really crave for, what we really need to have those positive spaces, like what we're having right now. You know what I mean? I've spent the past an hour and a half just bombarding myself with positive information and the fact that I can be more. And that is absolutely fantastic. And that's what we need. And I think to build up self-belief, you need more of that.
Can I just say, Charles, what you're saying about the TV and negativity, even one of my mind coaches is saying he has got an extremely good filter through years of training, and even he struggles to filter some of the negativity out that he sees on social media and on the TV. That's how bad it is. Horrible. So if you're not able to filter that, negativity out, you need to avoid it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And something else, Paul, you said on the chat, and I just want to pick that up. You said that it's futile to try and erase the bad memories, what you've already got in your mind. The best way is to replace it with good experiences, and I think that's what we need. That's what we need. We need spaces like these, conversations like these, groups that will really bring that positivity out and replace what's negative, basically.
Because that's what my coach Simon was saying. He said he's had loads of people that have tried desperately, and even some counsellors will attempt to get you to destroy the bad thing that's happened to you, and it's totally pointless. It's a waste of time, and they're still trying to destroy it 7 years later, still going to the same counsellor. You can't destroy it. You have to create something new to replace it.
Replace it, absolutely, absolutely. Replacement is the way to go. And finally, I just want to say, you know, when we talk about self-belief, I think it's really, really, really important to have self-belief, because sometimes it's very difficult to believe in others if you don't believe in yourself. I believe there are three levels of development or success or existence, basically. There is you can either be dependent, you can be independent, but beyond independence, there is interdependence. You know what I mean? Like it's either you're dependent, like you can't take your own responsibility. You have to rely on others to look after you, or you are independent. That means you are taking your own responsibility, or you can be interdependent, in which case you're actually taking responsibility beyond yourself. And that's what leadership is. You know, when you say someone is a leader, it means this person is not only responsible for himself, but he's responsible for others as well. He can actually bring others into play. He can trust others. He can empower others. He can believe in others. You know, and that's where we're trying to get to. And therefore, the first step is for us to believe in ourselves first, and be able to get the best out of ourselves. And then through that, we can be able to get the best out of others and have that interdependence, which is really the highest level of really existing, you know what I mean, or doing anything. You know, there is nothing that is achieved by one person. It's always a collective effort. And to be able to do that, you need to be able to trust others. And to be able to trust others, you need to be able to believe in yourself first. So on that note, I haven't got anything else to add, but this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much, Steve. That was a powerful presentation. I mean, there is so much to take home from this one. And I mean, I'm definitely, because I've recorded this, I'm definitely going to be listening to this time and time again. And I'll share it with you guys, the YouTube link for it, so that you can share it with your friends and your mates, and you can go back to it, because there is so much information that we've learned here, and all the contributions from everyone. Thank you so much. There are so many clips. It's like gold dust that has been sprinkled over here in the past hour and a half. So thank you so much, guys. It has been absolutely fantastic. Steve, do you have the last word before we wind up?
Yeah, the last word is really to thank everybody for your contribution. As I said earlier, me and Charles, we're trying to moderate, really, to steer up the conversation. But we want to learn from each other, you know. So we don't expect, like, Charles is going to be there for 90 minutes, talking like in a classroom. No. So we really, we know you're going to be a regular member coming, every other time when we eat. But, whenever we have a floor open, just give your contribution, and that will be amazing. So thank you very much. And then at the moment, I'm going to have my pizza here to celebrate small success. So,
Oh my goodness. Did you have to do that, Steve?
Well done, do that. You've done a good job. Carry on. You celebrate it. You have done a good job. You and Charles. Well done. Everybody else. Let's go and celebrate.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Yeah, wonderful.
Paul, and everybody, Bouquet. Nice to see you all. Hope to see you in 2 weeks' time, and take care.